youtube.com/patreon/BitChute. Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about the real reason why the government are taking the guns off the streets. Yes, the real reason why the government is trying to take all the guns off the streets, right? And this is in all countries where they collected guns. You know, like where it be an incident where, you know, it's like a mass shooting or something, and then the government do one of those little functions where they say everybody that has guns, whether it's illegal or legal, turn them in, and they exchange it for money. Now, it's a reason why they doing that. Now, first things first, before I get into this, hit the dislike button, bitch. Nah, that shit funny as hell. But anyway, I'm gonna hit the dislike button. I hate this guy. Shut up, you dick-sucking water bug. But anyway, today's video, anyway, like I was saying, so the real reason why they do that is because this is for people who think outside the box. It's a staged event. Staged event, basically meaning that the government, they'll send something. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that these mass shootings by regular people that's like probably loony or crazy or some shit, or that just want to get back revenge or something. I'm not saying that that shit don't happen, but 95% of the time, the government, they cause something so they can have an effect. You know, one of the universal laws, cause and effect. The same people who created the disease are the same people who give you the antidote. So the same people who created the COVID are the same people that's going to give you the vaccine. Funny as hell, right? But anyway, and this is something for you to think about for people who actually got open minds, not for people who got minds the size of a peanut. So basically what I'm saying is the government, they will stage these shootings where they'll send an operative out there or an agent. It's called Black Ops. It's covert warfare. And what they will do is they will send an agent out there, and, you know, they'll have them shoot up a school or shoot up, you know, some people or something like that to stage it to make it seem like it's some crazy guy or somebody wanting revenge or somebody, just so they can get the guns. So they cause a mass shooting, and the effect of it, they collect the guns and they exchange it for money. And what they're trying to do is they getting prepared for the RFID chip. Now, don't get me wrong, the RFID chip has already been here, but it's been more like discreet and secret. Only people who got millions and millions and billions of dollars got the RFID chip. Where they go in the grocery store, scan their hand or scan their forehead, and they pay for their groceries, and they take the money directly out their bank account. Now, they trying to introduce that into society slowly but surely. You see what I mean? It's called desensitizing. They do it slowly but surely. But like I say, it's other people who got millions of dollars that already got this shit. It's just, they can't just put it in the public because they know motherfuckers gonna fight back and stuff like that. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to take all the guns off. It's the same thing what Barack Obama did with the cash for clunkers back in America. So basically what he did was, because all the cars after a certain make model date, like let's say like cars from like fucking, you know, some people still got 1950 cars. So let's just say, like example, let's do something more realistic. Let's say a car from 1980s to like 2005 or some shit, or 2002. Let's do, 1980 to 2000. Those cars don't have no computer in them. They don't have no fucking thing where the car dealership could press a button and it shut the car down if you don't pay the payment. You can keep driving those cars and all that shit. It's not electric or none of that. And if an EMP ever hit, or if, you know, some shit like that, the cars won't shut down. They can keep driving. So they basically built for post-apocalyptic type of shit, right? But now the new cars out here nowadays, let's say from 2005 to fucking 2021, those cars have computerized chips in them. You know what I mean? So if an EMP hit, that motherfucker shut down. Or they like Tesla and shit like that, they're electric. You know what I mean? EMP is something, it's like some shit that fuck up all the electronics, but shut that shit down if it's electronic. And that was the whole point for the Cash for Clunkers, was Barack Obama wanted to give you money to take away your old make model car, so if some shit ever happened, you'll be shit out of luck. You understand what I'm saying? Do you connect the dots? It's the same thing with the guns. They stage an event. They send a covert operative out there to do a mass shoot. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Shooting at the ops, whatever, right? You're not going to be funny with this shit. It's not funny, but it's funny for people who understand. And they doing this because it's cause and effect. One of the universal laws, they have to stage an event and in effect they get what they want out of it, and they want to collect all the old school guns because all the old school guns, like they don't have no chip in them. So it's just like the cars. It's the same thing, different invention. So all these guns that's on the street, whether it's illegal or illegal, you could just put the bullets in, bow, 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 just start shooting that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? But they got new guns out here. Like, see, Fallout New Vegas, shout out Bethesda, shout out OB Sighting, man. They already knew what they was talking about in these video games. Same thing in these movies. If they put it in a movie or a video game, that means this shit they already got this shit. They already got this shit. They give you hints. You know what I mean? The devil has to give you a hint before he could attack God's children. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So they put this shit in movies and TV shows. But most motherfuckers, they dumb. It's just a cartoon. It's just a movie. And the government would never do that to us. You know what I mean? But most people say that because they already sold their soul and they with this shit. So they got to be a deception agent and they got to tell you, nah, man, that shit ain't real. That shit ain't real. Hit the dislike button, slut. Anyway. And what they do is, because they got plasma rifles, laser rifles, and other guns that's fucking some crazy ass technology. And what they gonna do with that is they have chips in them. So when people take the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, in the hand, the new guns they gonna put on the street, it won't be able to fire unless you got the chip in your hand. So let's say if you found one of these new guns, you like, why the fuck this won't fire? Because you don't have the chip in your hand, or you don't have the chip in your forehead. That the fucking gun, the chip inside the gun will recognize the chip in your hand. That motherfucker, it'll activate. Just like how you got a chip on your debit card or your credit card, you put that motherfucker in the ATM and the ATM read the chip because the chip in the ATM read the chip in the card. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's the same shit, different invention. It's the same thing. If you work at one of those car dealerships or you work at a place that's like a high-tech building and they got the new sensors and they got the chip in your ID, you got to scan your ID just to get in the building. Or sometimes, like one of my homies, shout out Marcus Simmons and shit. I mean, not Marcus Simmons, shout out him too, but shout out Marcus Brown, my homie and shit. He was telling me about this years ago, and I believed him because I know this shit real. He was saying he worked at this car dealership, and he said one of his like bosses or supervisors, he just scanned his hand in the door. He opened the door because he got the chip in his hand. He said he went on his desk and looked through his papers or some shit. And he seen a whole bunch of shit about the RFID chip and all that type of shit. And it sounds far-fetched, but then again, if you got an open mind, you know what I'm talking about. But then again, if you disagree, you probably sold your soul and you know about this shit. And you got to keep disagreeing with it because you already know you sold your soul. You know what I mean? And it's the same shit with these guns and shit. That's why they taking all these old guns and all these old cars because all the new cars and shit, it got chips in them. So if an EMP hit that motherfucker, boom, that motherfucker gonna shut down. So you trapped. An old car, that motherfucker just take gas. You can easily get a whole bunch of canisters of gas, fill that shit up, put that shit in your garage, and if some shit ever go, bring that shit with you and just keep filling your car up with with the little red gas canister. You see what I mean? You could do that if you got one of them old school cars. If it get hit by an EMP, it won't shut down because there's no chips in them. They're not electric. They built by all like steel parts and shit. You see what I mean? And that's the real reason why they doing this shit. And another thing too, just to put on your mind, is like they got, and a lot of these guns with the new chip, don't get me wrong, they got them. They got a whole bunch of new technology. They just haven't put it out into the masses yet. They haven't put it out into the public yet because they know people ain't ready for it. You see what I mean? Because a lot of motherfuckers will go crazy and shit because their mind can't handle this shit. That's why they say you can't handle the truth, because motherfuckers really out here can't handle the truth. But wake the damn up. That's the real reason why they trying to take the guns off the street.